Hey everybody, and welcome to Knit Chat. Today is July 30th. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm finally recording! Yay! Oh, it's been crazy. The last time I recorded was before vacation, which was in late June. So, oh goodness, it's been a long time. A lot has been going on. So, I say that, and then I think, yeah, no, it hasn't. Well, we'll see. Yeah, well, I guess a lot has been going on. I don't know. I look wet. Sorry, I'm just trying to squeeze this in because I really wanted to get something recorded, and get it posted. So, welcome again. If this is your first time watching, thank you. If you've seen some of my other episodes, entries, then I thank you for that. So thank you for coming back. So yeah, let's get started. Let's just jump right in with a little bit of chit chat. So for today, I actually made a schedule of things to talk about. For today, we've got some chit chat, some knit chat, a little bit of spin chat, a little bit of sew chat, and a little bit of book chat. So let's get going, okay? So first, just some general chit chat that's been going on. Vacation was wonderful. We went to Walt Disney World and had a fabulous time. It really is a magical place. It's a busy place. It's a busy vacation. It's not a just sit on the beach and relax vacation. We were busy every day, going to the parks and watching shows. And I have to admit that the food at Walt Disney World is fantastic. Everything we had was wonderful. I particularly, if you're ever planning to go to Walt Disney World, the restaurant called Boat Rights, and it's at one of the resorts. It's at the Port Orleans Riverside Resort, but they have a fantastic shrimp and grits. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. That was wonderful. I think that was my favorite meal. We also had dinner one night in Cinderella's castle, which was fantastic. That was quite the treat. And just, general funness all around. It was a great time. Not sure when we'll go back again. It's not a yearly thing for us to go to Disney. This was our second trip taking our daughter, and she's 6. Probably we might go back in couple of 3 years from now when she gets a little bit bigger and can do a little bit more. So that's kind of what we've done. We took a family trip a few years ago, and then kind of a family trip again this year, and then actually another family trip in a few more years. So it seems. We'll see. And we're also looking into in a few years doing not like within the immediate few years, but within a few years, looking into doing one of the cruises. I hear a lot of good things about those, so that's a maybe. If anybody's ever done one of the Disney cruises, let me know how it turned out. So then we came back and we jumped right into full speed ahead in just real world mode. The magic ended. The vacation was over. My husband started traveling again. He travels a lot for his job. But, so he travels, and then I'm here with the daughter, and we're doing that. And that wears me out sometimes. And then, but in addition to that, we got kittens. We got 2 baby kittens. They were 3 months old, brother and sister. They're a pair. They're rescue kitties, and we adopted them from Fur Kids, which is a wonderful organization. Highly recommend them. They were fantastic. Went out of their way for us so that we could adopt these kittens in the small window that we had before my husband had to start traveling for work, and it was wonderful. They were fantastic. And so yeah, a brother and sister. Their names are Mary and Pippin, and if anybody is Lord of the Rings fans, you are probably quite aware of Mary and Pippin, the cousins, Frodo's cousins. So awesome. And they're quite energetic. It's been a while since we had kittens in the house. So knitting has been interesting because they like yarn a lot. Mary actually, last night I was trying to knit, and Mary actually jumped into my knitting basket. I have a basket for here at the house that I keep all of my knitting in typically, and then it has a handle and I can take it from room to room. Yeah, she jumped in it last night, and then when I tried to get her out, she was swatting at me like, stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm not getting out. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to play. Woohoo! And she's just swatting at me, and it got interesting. So yeah, that's been interesting with the kittens around. So my knitting time and my knitting schedule, I guess, has been changed slightly because I've had to adjust to kitten life again. Oh, so yeah, that has been interesting. I apologize. I keep moving my head around because there's a glare on my glasses, and I'm not sure where the best place for me to be to not have glare. But I was lazy this morning, and I haven't put my contacts in. I haven't put any makeup on, so I look like me. Yeah, I just look like me. So yeah, that's part of it, just trying to fit it in. Just sometimes some days are not glamorous days. Some days are just not glamorous. They're just not. And today's one of the non-glamour days for me. But anyway, enough of that. So yeah, kittens, knitting, but they are they are really funny. They're fun to watch. Our older cat, yeah, she's adapting. She's adjusting. She wasn't crazy about them at first. But she is adjusting to them. So that's really good. And my daughter loves them. She just absolutely loves them. She carries them everywhere she goes. She picks them up and she takes them everywhere. And she just loves them. They love her and they love me, but sometimes it's so funny because I'll have, my 6-year-old in my lap, and I'll have 3 cats in my face and in my lap, and I'm like, I can't breathe. It's like this sense of they're all closing in on me, and they're getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and I have to take a moment to say, okay, back up. Let mommy breathe. It's okay, let mommy breathe. But they're fantastic. They're wonderful. Yeah, so life has been an adjustment to getting used to having them and kittens in the house again. And like I said, with my husband's travel, not a lot of knitting time for me. But I do have some things to show you. I have been making some progress, so we'll get on to knit chat here in just a minute. The other thing that I was going to talk about, and really I don't know that I want to talk about it because it's about my work and how busy it's been keeping me, and that's just kind of depressing. So let's not talk about that. Let's leave chit chat on a happy note about, wonderful kitten life. Has anybody else gotten any new pets this summer? Adopted any new kittens during the frenzy of kittens? I actually heard that this year there was a much larger number of kitten rescues than in the past years, and I wonder why that is. I don't know, but I heard that there was a lot of kittens being rescued this year, and the numbers were much higher than the average. So yeah, I would be interested to find out about that, to see what some of those numbers are from previous years. But I know I just kept seeing so many rescues, and taking on a rescue kitten was a no-brainer for us, and taking 2 was a no-brainer because they need that companionship growing up. So it was just easy for us to make that decision that, if we're going to adopt and we're going to rescue a kitten, then we're going to take 2. It was just a no-brainer, really, like I said. So, okay. But definitely check out Her Kids. Like I said, wonderful organization. They went out of their way for us, and that was really wonderful. So yeah, good times. So next on my list, that's all I had for chit chat. So let's get down to knitting. Let's talk about some knitting. I have some finished objects. I have some small finished objects. Because in my knitting life, what I've found is I've got so many big projects that oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I have several big projects that I'm working on. A couple of sweaters, and the sweaters are really consuming me because I really want to finish them. I will get into some of that because I left you guys talking about vacation knitting, and I'm going to catch you up to that in just a minute. But The sweaters are so big, are big projects. To me, a sweater is a big project. That I need to focus. I need to have those little bitty projects in the middle of the big projects, so that I'm accomplishing something, so that I don't get so frustrated with the big projects. So I have a few little projects that are a few little foes that I'm going to show you guys. Like, when you see them, you'll be like, wow, those are little. And then we'll talk about my works in progress and how that factored, how my progress went, how I had all these grand expectations and grand, I want to say schemes, grand goals for vacation knitting, and how that panned out for me. Yeah, it was kind of funny. But first, my first foe is a mitered dishcloth. So this is the mitered hanging towel dishcloth. My button does not match. Yeah, I started out with this little bitty button that did match. It's kind of a cute little flower orange button that totally matches the orange, see? And it looks really cute, but it was too small. Yeah, so I took it off, and I found this green button when I was in the store one day, and I thought, that green is perfect. It's the perfect shade of green. I don't know what I was thinking. That is not the perfect shade of green. It stands out so bad. But I put it on it anyway. It's just a dishcloth. It's just a mitered dishcloth that's going to go hanging and, used in somebody's kitchen. If not mine, then somebody's. I'll give it to my mom. Actually, she, and I say that and I laugh, but she's wore out the dishcloths that I've knit for her in the past, and so I was actually going to give it to her anyway. Now I'm just going to give it to her with a mismatched button. Is that terrible? Should I try to get a different button? I don't know. I don't think so. I think she'll love it anyway. I don't think she'll care. My mom, the way my mom is, she won't care. She'll just be excited to have the knitted dishcloth. But yeah, this is the mitered hanging towel by Christina Berdini Schiffman. Yeah, Christina Berdini Schiffman. I'm reading my notes here. And I knit this up using some scrap yarn that I had. Actually, you know what? It's not scrap yarn. The white is. But the ombre colorway, the ombre stripe, or I can't remember what it was called. The colorway was called. I didn't write it down. I had bought that as a craft project to work with my daughter during spring break, and we were doing sewing, practicing sewing. And so I used that for this with the white, some of this leftover white that I had in stash. So it turned out really cute, and I really like it. So, except for my button. But I'm going to be giving that to my mom. And she'll love it. She really will. So next on my list is my other little bitty projects. They're little bitty. Is some preemie hats. I'm going to take these and donate them to our local hospital for their neonatal unit. And they're just little bitty. So yeah, I knit these up, and so I knit this one up in one afternoon, off and on knitting, and then this one took me about an hour and a half to knit. So they're so small and they're so precious, little bitty 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 bitty. And so these guys, so this is the preemie hat Boys Gone Loopy on Ravelry, and the author is Bethany McRae. And I left off the loop. So the actual pattern has a little bitty crocheted loop that you crochet off the top and then you tie it down. And I just thought that was a little bit much for a preemie hat. Maybe not. I mean, it's cute. And I wouldn't mind it on, a little bit bigger hat. But, a hat that's the size of my fist. Look at that. Oh, so precious. So precious. That's so cute. My daughter's crazy about them. So she loves them, and she saw them because she saw them because I had only knit 2. She was like, "Mommy, do you only know 2 preemies?" I have only knit 2 hats. But she loves them too. She thinks they're so sweet. And this was actually, so I knitted these out of some donated yarn that my local yarn store had. They had a lot of people who came in and donated yarn for knitters to knit. So I knitted these using some of that donated yarn. But I do have some yarn, and it just takes scraps. I mean, it really does. I mean, look how small these things are. That I'll knit some more out of as well. So those are so cute and so wonderful. It's a great cause. So, you know, if you want to knit preemie hats and donate them, they need them. It's a good cause. So, no, that's not it. So I have these 3 faux. And I also have these guys that I love. I really do love them. Ta-da! Boot toppers. So cute boot toppers. So here there's my boot toppers. Look how wonderful that is. Look at that blue. Isn't that blue just awesome? I love it. These guys are knit using some of my hand spun. This is my very first hand spun that I actually had enough of hand spun to actually make something with. And I love it. I love it. So half of this was spun on a spindle, and half of it was spun, I finished it when I got my spinning wheel. And so it's awesome. They're so cute. And they are the pattern. So this is the pattern on Ravelry. Again, it's called the Hilmaku, Helmiku boot toppers. And it starts out with this little 2x2 ribbing. And then you have a short little cable, two cable repeats, and then a little bit more of the ribbing. And what I did, the pattern for these guys was to cast on 80 stitches. So I cast on 80 stitches and I started the ribbing, and they were huge. I mean, it was like fit around my head, huge. And I was like, no, we don't want to do that. So I went back and read some of the people's comments, or project notes, I should say, project notes, on some of the finished objects in Ravelry, some of those pages, and a lot of people had dropped down to 64 stitches, and so that's what I did, and it's a really good fit at the 64 stitches. And now what I have is a little bit of this yarn of my hand spun left over. What I wish I had done is when I dropped down, I wish I had made this part right here, the 2x2 ribbing, longer, or did another cable repeat to kind of add a little bit more length to it. Not a lot, because I think it's pretty good as it is, but just a little bit more, so it would kind of come down a little bit longer over my boot top. And hold up the other one too. I love that blue. But I didn't think about that until after I was finished with the first one. And I realized, I was like, oh, I'm going to have some yarn left over, because I went down in my stitch count. So I've got a little bit of yarn left over. And I think what I'm going to do with it is make a smitten mitten. One of the things that I told my husband I wanted to do is make a banner, or what do you call them? I can't think of the word banner. It's just the only word that's coming to my mind. A garland of the smitten mittens made out of hand spun. I think that would be awesome. Don't you think that would be so cool? And he's like, yeah. I don't think he was as excited as me. But I thought that would be just really cute and really homey, you know, to do that. And just to put it up during the holidays. And I just think it's a great idea. I think it would be super cute. So, yeah, so I think I might have enough left, about 30-ish yards left. This was about 100, so I had about 130 yards total. And totally making a mitten, because I think it takes about 30 yards to make a mitten. So I totally think I'm going to do that. So this was hand spun, and this was so the actual hand spun is some of the first that I got, and I got this from Fiber Festival, North Carolina Fiber Fest, I think is right. And I bought it. It's euphoric fibers in an 80 merino 20 silk blend. This is pretty close right there to the color, and I love that color. I love the blue. Just has this beautiful shine and sheen on it, and I just love it. And I mean, I love the oranges too and the browns, but that blue just really speaks to me. I just love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it. So I feel silly. I also feel like I'm kind of rushing because I want to get through everything. So sorry if I'm rushing through some stuff. I feel like I also have to sneeze. So if I do. I'm so sorry, excuse me. Okay. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about my whips. Move them a little closer. So now we're talking on to whips, and I had great plans, right? So I had this great scheme that I was going to take this knitting with me on vacation, and I was going to knit. It was going to be fantastic, and I was going to get a lot done. No, didn't happen that way. I got a little bit of knitting done on the sock, and that was it, really, because every night when we would get back to the room, I was exhausted. We were so tired that we would come back into the room and pretty much just lay down on the bed and fall asleep. Take a shower, lay down, get all that sweat and grime off of us from the day. Sunscreen and, a lot of sweat. Because it was just so hot. And too hot. I was not carrying knitting around with me anywhere. Too hot for that. And we were just exhausted because we were just on the go so much. So very, very little vacation knitting. Very little. So I ended up knitting a lot. It looks like I've done a good bit actually since I've been home, but I was finally able to separate the sleeves after we got home from vacation. It didn't happen before on my mama vertebrae. Oops, I dropped it. So here's mama vertebrae progress. As you can see, I was about, and I didn't put a marker in to show you, but I was about like right up here before, and now I have separated the sleeves, and I am about that much, I would guess 4 or 5 inches, I'll get it turned, down from the arm. And, this is pretty much turned into my easy knitting, so if it's, easy to knit, because now it's just stockinette. So, and now that I've gotten past the sleeves, it doesn't take as long to knit a row. And it's funny because I was thinking to myself, now, I'm going to love the idea of having this fingering weight cardigan, and I love the color, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be very versatile, and I'm going to wear it all the time. I'm fairly positive that this is going to be one of those go-to, wear it all the time cardigans. But it takes forever in fingering weight to knit a few rows. I feel like it does. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think I don't know. It just feels that way. But I am loving it, and I do love the color. It's this really dark red, and it's pretty close. That's pretty close. It's this beautiful dark red. Try and see if it'll adjust a little bit. There you go. That's about right. It's kind of a brick red. Awesome. I do love it. And it is, I am knitting it in Cascade 220 fingering weight. I really like Cascade yarn. I know I've said that probably in every episode. But I really do like Cascade yarn. And it's awesome. So yeah, I'm really kind of focused on getting this done. So I've been knitting, as you can tell, pretty good bit on this. And this is the Mama Vertebrae pattern by Kelly Brooker. Let me move that over a little bit so you can see it. So yeah, it's just the arms and the back and a little bit of on the sides. It's not a full cardigan, so it should go pretty quickly now that I'm done with the sleeves. And then you knit the then you pick up and knit a panel edging around it once you finish that part. But it's really, really awesome. And the pattern's really good because it gives you so many sizes and it gives you so many yarn options. So, you know, it comes for, the pattern gives you fingering, DK, light worsted, heavy worsted, and Aran weight sizing. It's very thorough. And she also has the baby vertebrae and a is it child vertebrae, youth vertebrae? I can't remember. And then the mama vertebrae. Once I get mine done, I'm thinking of doing one in a self-striping for my daughter as well. So it's fantastic. And I am knitting these on my size 5s. They're size 5 Hiya-Hiyas. And it's just going, you know, it's going along. It's gonna look really good. I really love the color. I think the color is gonna be really versatile and it's gonna go with a lot of cool things. So yeah, so that's how far I've gotten on that guy. It's not exciting knitting because really, I mean, like I said, it is just knit and purl, but it's easy knitting. And I really like that because I need that kind of project that I can just go to and sit down and watch television and just knit and not have to worry about keeping up with a pattern. So this is really good. It's very versatile, and I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. I really am. And I love all the finished projects that I see on Ravelry, and I love it. So I'm trying to finish that. And then I'm also trying to finish my Irish Coffee by Baby Cocktails, aka Thea Coleman, on Ravelry. And I am actually, here's another, I'm going to show you a different picture in the pattern where you can actually see the sweater detail down here. So this one, and I'm going to show you, this one has really, I really have been spending a good bit of time knitting on it. Let's see if you can see this. Can you see the little teeth marks in my pattern up here? Yeah, there you go. I've had help. I've had little friends helping me with this one. But here I am on this guy. Let me see if you guys can see that. There we go. So it's coming along. It is fantastic. So this is the front and this is the back. Yay! I am in the waist increases for this guy. Stand up and pull it down a little bit. Isn't it awesome? Oh, it's so awesome. Yeah, I'm loving this. I am really, truly loving it. As you can see, this is where I was the last time I talked about it, because I was smart enough on this one and put my marker in. So I've gone from here to here. And this one comes down about mid-thigh. So I still have a ways to go on it before I'm finished. I've done, yeah, two waist increases, or hip increases, I should say. Hip increases, waist decreases, but I've done two. And so these two stitch markers are marking where my increases are. And then what I did was I marked it, and then I counted how many stitches, because I'm doing 1.5. I'm doing an increase every 1.5 inches. And I completely lost my train of thought. So yeah, so I marked my first one. Then I marked my second one after I measured and I was at 1.5 inches. And so then I counted how many rows were in between. So then on my pattern, I marked on my pattern, and during the pattern repeat, where do I need to do my third? Where do I need to do my fourth? Where do I need to do my fifth and final increase? So that I'll keep up with it, and then I'll just keep up with it that way. And I'll know how many I've done and where I need to do the next series, the next set of increases. So I thought I was being pretty smart when I did that. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, because that way I will know and I'll keep up with it on my pattern that I keep handy dandy all the time. And everybody can tell it. And then there you go. This is a pay-for pattern on Ravelry, but I think it's worth it. I'm enjoying it, and I'm really going to get a lot of wear out of this. I know I am, and I want it. Even though it's so hot right now, I want to finish it, because I want to be able to know on that first cool day of fall that this is ready. It's finished. Its ends are woven in. It's been blocked, and it's ready for me to just pull out of the drawer and go. So I've been really enjoying this, and I'm ready to be done with it, and I want it done. I am knitting this in Patton's wool, so it's a Patton's worsted weight in the currant colorway, CURRANT, currant colorway. I got it confused. I got the colorway confused. I think I was calling it coral, but it's not coral. It's currant. I think coral is a little bit pinker, and this is a little bit orangier. And I think that's the difference between the two. I don't know. We're gonna go with it. And like I said, I've been enjoying it. But this is so the pattern is really easy, and the cabling is really easy. It's quick. It's easy. But I was knitting along, and I realized after I had gone so far that I looked down at my cable, and I think to myself, my cable don't look right. Something is off in that cable. And I had actually purled where I should have knitted in the pattern repeat. That comes from shooing cats and kittens off of your knitting, which has been happening to me frequently, and I'm really surprised that that's not the only mistake it's the only mistake that I've caught. Let's put it that way. So I ended up having to tink back several rows on this guy, and fix my error. And one thing about tinking back on cables is that it's not really fun. But when you go back to redo them, if you don't undo the crisscross, all you got to do is knit it. Because the stitches, you've already moved the stitches. So if you tink back and you don't reverse what you've done, you just leave it and just tink it back, then your stitches will stay crisscrossed. They'll be tight, but they'll stay crisscrossed, and all you have to do is knit when you go back and knit that row again. So that was good. So that saved me time, because then I didn't have to pull out my cable needle and fix the cables back and forth again. I just had to knit, and so that did save me time. So that was really good. It's good to know. I was like, hey, I don't have to do that. I can do this, and this is perfect. It'll save me so much time. So it worked out really great. So yeah. And, it's funny, because I think to myself, and I think, goodness, why am I knitting a sweater, two sweaters in this heat in the middle of summer? But I'm really not. I'm knitting them in the evenings. That's about the only time I have to knit, is at night, and for about an hour under in the air conditioning. So, so really and truly, I kind of feel like I'm I'm not knitting in, you know, the dead of the heat, which I'm not, because I'm like literally sitting right under the AC vent, and it's about an hour. That's about all the time that I've got to work on that, and it's been funny. It's pretty good. But yeah, so that is my Irish coffee. It's coming right along. Mama Vertebrae is coming right along, and that's all I've got to talk about right now for knitting. I did not pull out the sock because I just didn't feel like I was far enough to talk about it, because I haven't been knitting on it lately. I knit on it a little bit and not that much. So this is what I've been really knitting. So that's what I pulled out to talk about today. I am going to talk a little bit about spinning. Everybody is doing Tour de Fleece. I did not sign up for Tour de Fleece, mainly because it started while we were on vacation. I believe, yeah, it did. It started while we were on vacation, and I didn't even realize that it was going underway until we got back from vacation. So, seriously, in vacation mode. But I have done a little bit of spinning, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about it. What I'm spinning is this wonderful merino from Mohair and More, from their Etsy shop. And it is this gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? Doesn't it just look like a big fluffy cloud? My daughter wants to play with it. She'll come in and she'll pick it up and she'll hug it, because she just wants to play with it. But it is so gorgeous, and I am in love. And that's about the right color. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And this is called Peppermint. So, and I've got 4 ounces of this wonderful wool from Mohair and More, from their Etsy shop. And I have spun 2 ounces of this. So I have 2 ounces to go in my baggie here. So I have 2 ounces to go of that. And I'm trying to decide. So because I've spun the 2 ounces, I'm trying to decide what the best thing to do will be for me. Because from the same company, from Mohair and More, I also purchased 4 ounces of this incredible brown. Ho, ho, ho. Look at that, would ya? Isn't that gorgeous? I so love this. And this colorway is called Cafe au Latte. Or Cafe au Latte. Cafe au Latte. A lot. Cafe au Latte. And I have 4 ounces of it. So what I'm trying to decide is, do I spin my 4 ounces complete, and spin my 4 ounces complete and ply the 2 together, or do I spin my 2 ounces and on one bobbin, then spin this and ply one color, and then do the same for this color and just have one color? I can't decide. I can't decide the best thing to do with that, and I need to, because I want to keep spinning. So I need to decide now if I'm going to join or not. My problem is, as a new spinner, I don't have that many bobbins, and if I keep going with the full 4 here, and then I do the full 4 here, my bobbin will only hold 4 ounces. I don't have a jumbo bobbin, so when I go to ply, I won't be able to ply the full 4 ounces, because it'll actually be 8. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of want to ply them all together, but then I can't ply them all together. But I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I need more bobbins. That's what I need to do. I just need to go order me some more bobbins. But I'm in love with these colors, and I don't know. Do I do the 2 ounce, 2 ounce, or 4 ounce, 2 ounce? I don't know. I won't be able to ply it though. See? I need a new bobbin. That's my problem. I'm just going to have to go get one. That's it. I'm just going to have to go get the bobbin. That's what I've been spinning. There you go. There's my spinning. I am enjoying it. When I have the time to sit and spin, I do love it. It's very calming. So that is awesome. So there you go. Now I'm going to move right on to a little bit of sew chat. Project bag. I sewed this project bag. Not much sewing going on. I really haven't. This is all I've sewn, but I did want to show it. I'm not crazy about my ribbon for that, but I love the bag itself. I have ironed this fat quarter and ironed it and ironed the bag, and it's still, you can still see the creases. But I love it. Look at the inside. Look at the zebra and against that red. Isn't it awesome? And then there was the zebra ribbon. So I've learned that I really like sewing the ribbon as opposed to trying to sew the band and then doing the in there. I don't know. It just gives it a little bit of pop to have that band on the outside. That ribbon band. So to me, especially this. The only thing that I really wish I had done is I wish I had moved the band down just a little bit more, so that I would have more poof at the gathering at the top. I don't know, but I love that bag. It's a great size. It's a really good size. And what I did is I sewed, when I did my interior, I made it just a little bit longer than my exterior so that I would have that little bit of overlap so that I could pull that down and have that just that least little bit of overlap so it would stick out a little bit and add that contrast. I'm excited because, you know, the more I sew, even if it's just, you know, project bags, little things like this, I get better at it. And I'm really proud of this one. I think this is my best bag yet. I really do. So my sewing is coming along. It lined up a lot better. Everything looks to be pretty much lined up. I think I kind of got my ribbon a little bit of off, but not bad. Not that bad. So I'm pretty excited. So that makes me happy. And that's all I've been sewing. I do have a couple of patterns, new patterns that I bought, but I haven't really started sewing or picked out fabric for them yet. So those will come up maybe in a later episode. So really quick, I have some new book chat, and that will, then that'll wrap it up, I think. But book chat, I love Agatha Christie. I love her books, and I really love the Poirot series, the BBC television series, I think it is. Poirot, with David Suchet playing Hercule Poirot. I love that show. I love that series and those movies. He is, by far, in my opinion, the best Poirot ever. Well, he wrote a book called Poirot and Me. And so when I found out that he had wrote the book, I was like, oh, how exciting. And it was out of stock when I first found out that he had wrote it. So I wasn't able to get a copy. But I recently did. I went back out and I was like, you know what? I really want that book. So I went back out and I got a copy of it. And I've been reading it. And I love it. The little insights of playing the part, getting into character, figuring out what the character meant to him and means to him, and how he brings that into the role to make the role more realistic, to become Hercule Poirot, has been really interesting. And so I've actually gone back and started rewatching the entire series because of the comments and things that he's mentioned in here. So I guess you could call that book chat / TV chat because I love it. It's fantastic. And I recommend it. If you like the show, if you really like the show, I think you'll like his book. It's great. And so I've been enjoying it very much. And then other than that, not much else. I am considering, I haven't done it yet. I've thought about it off and on, signing up for Audible, because I really like to listen to books, especially when I'm in the car. I just haven't done it yet. I just don't know. I want to make sure that I'll get my money's worth with it. So I'm toying with it. So if anybody has any ideas or any advice or any opinions on Audible, if you use it, please share. Because I would be very interested in what you have to say and how it works, really, if it's of benefit. So, okay, guys, that's all I've got. I've been talking a little bit longer than I thought I would, but I had a lot to say. Okay, that's all for now. I will most definitely not let so much time go by between this recording and the next. But until then, bye.